Hi everybody, today we'll be learning Novelette Romantique by a French composer named Jean-Baptiste Duvernoy. I might have butchered that name. Anyway, he's a romantic composer, and he actually, a lot of his life is not very well known, as in I searched on the web for his little profile and couldn't really come up with anything except the fact that he wrote a lot of like method books kind of things, and this particular series is probably the most popular by him, and it's opus 176, and this is number 18. It's kind of a progressive studies of 25 exercises, and similar to Bergmüller's 25, but from what I see, they're not as interesting as Bergmüller's, so probably why I don't play Duvernoy's pieces as much. That being said, this is a very nice little piece, and it's perfect in helping you try to balance the right hand melody and left hand harmony for the most part, although the second section does feature left hand. So before we start the piece, let's take a look at the score really quick. And it's in 3-part form, like most of short pieces. And the beginning is obviously A. Okay. And it goes kind of like this. Okay, so that's the A part. And if you take a look, the second half is very similar, and it's a continuation of A, except that left hand has gone down an octave. So that's the only change. Melodic makeup is pretty much the same. Okay, and left hand features a broken triad. So this is second half of the A. This is a little different. And then we end up on a little E minor chord. And forgot to mention, the entire thing is in A minor. So now it goes on to the second part. Okay, here's the B section. So at measure 17, you might mark it in that this is B. And it's rather happy. So we have modulated to the relative major key of A minor. So this is C major. And it features left hand and right hand, lots of staccatos. And it's rather happy, and it's marked forte and marcato, which is contrast to the soft beginning. So here's the B section, first phrase. And then returns to the similar rhythmic figure or melodic figure that we had in the beginning, both melodic and rhythmic. Okay, that's the first half of B, and then here's the second half. It starts the same way. So once again, the pattern emerged. First part of the B section and both phrases are exactly the same. And then you can almost guess the second half is slightly different, and it indeed is. Okay, the end of B section. And then we have a transitional activity here on the very bottom of the page, starting from 33. So 33 features a transition. We're probably helping us transition back to the A section, right? And it's got... Okay, that's the first half. And so it ascends, and then we have a long descending octave thing. Scales. There's a transition, and we are back indeed in A section. We'll call it A prime because it's slightly different. Okay, and let's hear the first phrase of A prime. Sounding familiar? Okay, it's exactly identical to the first phrase of beginning. And of course, second one is going to be a little different if the pattern holds, right? This is identical. And here's a different one. The long descending scale is kind of similar to the feature that we had in measure 37 of the transition. So it's a formally pretty simple piece, and there's a lot of repeating figures, and it looks like the composer wants you to work on, because these are, as I mentioned, kind of exercise pieces, balancing the right hand melody with the left hand broken triads. Okay, let's get right into it. So let's take a look at the very first phrase. You will see that left hand is marked. I know the writing is a little faint. It's marked legato. So you have to connect the left hand finger the whole time. And right hand is like a long slur thing. The tempo is allegretto, so not too fast, not too slow. Literally means a little slower than allegro. And it's quite melodic, and it's mostly stepwise. Except for, like a fifth and a third leap. So you have to make the first 4 measures sound like a one long line. And in order to do that, I will probably do a little crescendo to here, like a little hairpin, and then soft. It makes sense tonally too, because if you take a look at the left hand makeup, we have A minor in measures 1, 2, and 4. But D minor, second inversion, in measure 3. So as a general rule, whenever there is a change, then that's the thing that you bring out. So how to practice this? I would say if you're playing a piece like this, your reading is probably at a certain level already. So one of the things that you should do, before you start any of these practice exercises, is try to read through by yourself. So pause the video from beginning to the end, just to get a feel for it. Yeah. But once you've done that, you can do something like holding left hand as a block chord each measure and working on the right hand. So instead of working on right hand separate, left hand separate all the time, you can do right hand by itself but with the block chords. So let me try to do that with you for the first line. Okay, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. So get your third finger on the A, and then left hand only features, remember, 2 chords. We have A, C, E at A minor and A, D, F, and we're using 5, 2, 1 at D minor. First line. 1, ready, go. And I'll do that several times. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And you can do the same thing for the next line. Let's see what chords it features. And we have E major, which is the 5 in A minor in measure 5, and back to A minor. And we have F major, leading down to E major. And right hand makeup changed a little bit, right? The slurs are a little shorter, and last notes of the slurs should be tapered off. So what you do is you raise your wrist and down and up through these 5-note figures. So it goes down and up, and lightly touch that thumb so that it doesn't accent. And it'll phrase for you if you use your natural arm weight. So if you go down, it gets heavier, and if you lift, it gets lighter, right? So if you're not adding extra tension in your arms, just the action of going down and up will phrase this little motive for you. So it will be down and up, and then we're gonna go circle back to I tapered off that last note as well. So this, it's like a little inflection, but it's kind of like that. Okay, so let's try up to there with the left hand block chord. So it starts with E major here, starting from measure 5. 1, ready, go. Okay, and what is the meaning of these repeated E's? And then, you know, this whole piece doesn't need much pedal, but I might pedal those little E's just for resonance. And notice it has staccato with slur, and you're like, that contradicts itself. What is that? And it means that you're gonna have like a longer staccato. So it's not, and it's not this, but kind of a ringing staccato and longer. So I will use my wrist for it, and it helps you. It works as like a pickup note for the next part. Okay. So now let's try left hand block chord, right hand melodically from measures 1 through 8. Okay, I'll count you in. 1, ready, go. And D minor, back to A, 2, off. Okay, and once you have that, what can you do? Of course, you can work on left hand by itself. And how do we phrase these? Whenever you see 3 note, like a broken triad thing, play the bass slightly louder. I mean, whole thing is softer than the right hand. So right hand volume would be here. Even though it says piano, right hand's more like a mezzo piano, left hand's like a pianissimo. Okay, and then you do this hand shape where you go down and up, down, and so your wrist is actually circling back, and making it sound rather connected. And what you do is you lighten the second and third note a little bit. Okay, so this is how it will sound. Left hand by itself. 1, 3, 1, ready, go. A, C, E. A minor, F, and a, do. And then when you end, you have to do a little wrist circle and relax through it. Follow through. Okay? Left hand by itself. 1, ready, go. A, C, E. A little louder for D minor and back to soft. E major, A minor, F, and E. And you may have noticed that whenever there was like a new chord, I brought it up slightly in volume. Yeah. And this is how it will sound as a whole, everything put together. 1, ready, go. Louder and soft. Left hand is always below the right hand. Okay. And let's take a look at the second half of the A section. You can practice it exactly the same way, right? As a block chord. And only difference is that left hand went down an octave, yeah? And since it's exactly the same, let's just look at the very last line. We have an E minor in the left hand, 5, 2, 1 for 2 measures. And then B and A, a 7, and back to E. So let's try the very last line only as left hand block chord and right hand melodically. 1, ready, go. If this is the peak, and the muni and do. Okay. Yeah. A little theory pop quiz for you. What melodic not melodic. What minor scale is used for the in the right hand here? And the answer in the right hand for the last, I don't know, you can say even last three measures or the whole thing, right? What minor scale is used in the last line? And it is E harmonic minor. So E minor, which is relative of G major, with F sharp, with the 7th raised. Okay, so those are the notes that are used here. Just like the beginning opening, it uses the A harmonic minor scale. Okay, so a little theory for you. And let's try at measure 13. Now as a block chord and right hand again. Okay, and then we'll try the broken version. Okay, 1, ready, go. Here's the peak. Okay, now as a broken, 1, ready, go. 2, 3. Okay, end of the A section. All right, let's go on to the B section. Okay, totally different mood, right? And this one, it might be useful to just practice hands separately for that first line. Just because right hand has staccato, so a little more coordination here. And then left hand has moving notes. It's marked, marcato, which means marked, as in you're kind of over-articulating things a little bit. So when the A section was more of a smooth texture, and this is more of an articulate marked texture, and dynamically it's forte now. And let's play left hand only, and it starts with number 2 on C, and notice that it's a sequence. So 17, 18 is one set, and it's the same exact pattern starting on F. Let's try that. 1, ready, go. Okay. And how about right hand? Right hand is pattern 2. And notice there's an accent on that last note. So bring that out. Okay, so that shows us the accent in the right hand that we are kind of doing this shape. Okay, let's put it together. 1, ready, go. Okay, and I might practice that several times. And then at measure 21, let's try right hand with left hand block chord once again. Okay, 1, ready, go. And you may have noticed that left hand is D minor and then turns D major to G. Okay. Let's do that again. Okay, 1, ready, go. Oh, sorry. 1, ready, M as a block chord. And then here's a little transition figure that we had in A. And goes back to the same thing. Okay, and let's see how the second part of B changes. Is same. Except we have C natural here. And okay. Alright, let's play all of the B section now. Starting from the as written. Do it a little slower at 1 and 2 and ready, go. Melodic figure. Left hand's always softer. let's take a look at the transition, which starts right here. Notice left hand has now kind of a shorter broken triad. And then we have E7, A minor, E7, A minor. And then right hand has E major 5-finger, A minor 5-finger. And remember what we're supposed to do? At this 5-note figures, if you lift your wrist and then land, then up, then it'll shape for you. And don't be fooled by this big crescendo sign that you're supposed to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 is loudest. So see if this makes sense. As a 5-note figure, it's always gonna be dee-da-da-da-dum. Last note is a little tapered off. That's the most natural phrasing. That, not that. Okay? Why? Because in a 3/4 time, it's always strong, weak, weak. Then you ask, how in the world are we able to do a crescendo then? So what we do is, instead of doing note by note, you're gonna do crescendo measure by measure. Here's what I mean. So first one's gonna be soft, now more, even more, and most. Okay, so we're crescendoing as a set. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, not. Okay, so keep that in mind. And let's try the transition with the right hand as written and left hand block chord. So you can practice almost the entire piece this way, right? Like block chord and then scales in the right hand. Why is it beneficial to do block chord? Because the information then it's kind of chunked together. It's easier for you to find the notes later. And when you put it together, it's also easier to understand what chords you are actually using. So that's why, starting from 33 and just this line. 1, ready, go. Down and up, down and up. Okay. Now as written. 1, ready, and piano. Now more, most. Okay, and it all built up to the scale thing that's on the next page, right? All right, we have a big descending A natural minor thing. Okay, it shows that we're not ready to end it yet, right? Let's try again. 1, ready, go. Okay, now as written. 1, ready, start, loud. Quiet. And you can take a little bit of breath here. And we are back. Same exact thing. Okay, and then second half of A prime, slightly different, right? And then we have descending scale. I don't think you diminuendo. My bad. There's a accent written here, so I think composer means for us to end it loud. So okay, that might be a little too much, but something along those lines. Okay, I hope you enjoy playing this piece.